Alright, so we're going to try again because I wasn't recording. So I'm just going to do a factoring video, not a factor to solve. So we are not going to have an equal sign at all. We're just going to have expressions. So the first thing we do is we look for a GCF. So in this case, a 2 and a 3, the only thing they share is a 1. X squared and x, they share in x. Okay, so if you think about what x squared is, it's really x times x. So we can pull out the x to the front. Okay, so we're left with, we didn't change our number. We had 2 x's, we took out 1, so we're left with an x. We didn't change our number again, so we're going to be left with a 3. We had an x, we took it out, so there is no more x. Okay, look inside your parentheses. This is a linear term. Okay, so we cannot factor anymore because our 2 and 3 don't share anything, and we have x to the first power. So we are done right there. Okay, so that's our answer for the first one. Take a look at another one. We have 2x squared minus 18x plus 16. So we are going to first look at our numbers, look at our variables, and see if there's anything in common. So in this case, they are all even, which means that they can all be reduced by 2. So one thing, we cannot divide by 2 because we would have to divide both sides of the equal sign by 2, and we don't have another side. So we need to factor it out. So it's just going to stay in front. So we had 2x squared divided by 2. We have 1x squared left. Negative 18x divided by 2 is going to leave us with a negative 9x. 16 divided by 2 is going to leave us with an 8. Okay. If you look inside your parentheses, you do not just have a linear term, so we have to try to go further. So the way we go further with a trinomial is we do a times c. Okay, so in this case, a is 1, b is negative 9, and c is 8. So our a value is 1, our c value is 8, so we'd have 1 times 8 is 8. Factors of 8, 1 and 8, 2 and 4. Okay, how do you multiply to a positive 8? They can either both be positive, or we could do negative 1 times negative 8, or negative 2 times negative 4. How we pick our factors is whatever one adds to our b value. So we're looking for negative 9. So if we look, 1 plus 8 gives us 9, 2 plus 4 gives us 6, negative 1 plus negative 8 is negative 9, negative 2 and negative 4 gives us negative 6. So there's only one that works to our b value. Okay, so we're going to choose negative 1 and negative 8. So we're going to put them in our parentheses. And then we are going to divide by our a value. So very important to remember to divide by our a value. Sometimes it changes our problem, sometimes it doesn't. So in this case, we have negative 1 divided by 1. We reduce it first, so that just reduces to negative 1. Negative 8 divided by 1 just reduces to negative 8. Okay, so that a value didn't change anything, and don't forget your 2 out front. So that is our final answer. All right. Okay, so now let's do one more. Let's do 6x squared plus 13x minus 8. Okay, so 6x squared plus 13x minus 8. So first we're going to look to see if they have anything in common. 6, 13, and negative 8 share only a factor of 1, so we can't do anything in that realm. So we're going to do our a times c. So a is 6, b is 13, and c is negative 8. So a times c is going to get us 6 times negative 8, which is going to get us negative 48. We're going to factor out negative 48, so we have 1 and 48, 2 and 24, 3 and 16, 4 and 12. Let's see, 5, 6, and 8. All right, so now we're going to look for our factors that add to 13. We're multiplying to a negative number, so one of our numbers has to be negative. In this case, I know that it's the smaller one because our b value is 13, a positive 13. So if we add them, we get 47, 22, 13, 8, and 2. So again, only one of them is going to give us our b value. If you did the opposite one, making the bigger number negative, and the smaller number positive, all these would do would switch signs, again only having one positive 13. Okay, so now we're going to take our negative 3 and our 16 and we're going to put them in our parentheses. So in this case, x minus 3, x plus 16. We're going to take our a value and divide. And then one of the big steps that was missed is reducing. So make sure you reduce if necessary. So negative 3 over 6 is going to reduce to negative 1/2. 6 and 16 can reduce by 2, leaving us with 8/3. Okay, fractions aren't allowed, so the way we get rid of them, multiply by the denominator. Okay, each parenthesis is its own thing, so that's going to leave us with 2x minus 1. Over on the other side, multiply by 3 to get 3x plus 8. Okay, so now I'm doing that pretty quickly to get just the number on top. So if I just pull this out to the side just to explain it, if we are multiplying by the same thing that we're dividing, it's just going to cancel out. So you could do the long way. 8 times 3 is 24 over 3, which gives us 8. But it's really not necessary. Since you're multiplying by the denominator, those are always going to go away, leaving you with the top. Okay, so that's solving. I'm sorry, that's just factoring, not solving. So again, the big difference is no equal sign, so we can't set them equal to 0. Okay?